Students, today I'm going to take the last lesson of your semester, the short story, Music for a While by Billy's Rose. She was born in Glasgow, 1954, and she has written lots of short stories. There are various collection of her short stories, and she has also been involved in collaboration with musicians, visual artists, most recently with composer Stephen Daisley on Fatal Attraction. Latest book in Twin Set is a collaboration with Karen Knight and illustrated by Laurie Hastings and Polly Pelwal. Lily Rose lives in Edinburgh, that's in London. Now, what has this got to do with her lesson, Music for a While? From the title, we understand she's going to talk to you about a music that was played for a while. So, here, this is a story about two musicians. That's the entrance. This is a story about two musicians. So you can see here who are those musicians. Not exactly there, but just giving you a picture of two musicians. One is the pianist and another one is the violinist. Now, it could, she says giving you excuses. I could have given you a story about a solo musicians, or not that they are rare or that I cannot write about musicians, lonely musicians. But then I want to uh, talk to you about two musicians. And in the tense sense, it means in the future tense or past tense or present tense, it's a kind of a rarefied air of a concert hall. Not much of a close opportunity or not much of a thing that is always available for us to see in a concert hall. So this is a story of two musicians. Her writings are of in the style of stream of consciousness that you talk about the past, present, and the future as she goes through the story of these musicians. So she says she's not talking about great jazz artist or rock and roll artist or folk dancers or rappers, but they would be much attracted by younger audience. I'm not going to. She says I'm not talking about those guys, but then I'm going to talk to you about uh, some musicians who are clean cut and clean living. Who are those? These musicians, he says, they have this, even in their dresses, you know, even in their dresses, they have to be very clean, very crisp, wear white shirts, press black trousers, skirts, polished shoes. All these are important for these musicians whom I'm going to talk to you about in this story. Their hair must be clean, well combed, and they don't wear any interesting facial piercings, here or here or here or here or here. They don't wear this. They are, and go back 100 years, maybe a 200, or this pair wouldn't look very different from how they look today. So the same pair, those were like these musicians would look the same even if you go back in the past. They dress the same. They do value. They do hold on to values that were 100, 200 years back. So it's not how they looked last night. I'm writing to you, but they've always been looking like this in their class. They both are classical musicians, and wherever they stay in their travel, they always get along, and they have always pressed their dresses in pristine, and it usually hangs in their wardrobes, and their musical instruments are there. So they live like that. The musician whom I'm going to talk about travel a lot. So she doesn't introduce you, this is Jane and that is Jack or Jack and Jane. No, no, no. He just says I'm going to talk to you about a musician who travels a lot. They learn to settle in quickly and adapt themselves to any kind of places they go because they already travel a lot and they know the situation and they adjust to themselves. I'm talking to you about musicians, she says, very young, maybe not even 20, and they have played separately as well as together. And to be more specific, she says musicians is a very vague term I'm using. So she says they're not exactly musicians, or not that they are not. I'm using a very vague term. She's not happy with the term musicians because whoever plays musical instrument, they're called as musicians. And I haven't even mentioned that I have not told you their gender. So let me tell you, she says, there's one girl who plays piano, there is one boy who plays violin. And these both have shared many stages and they played on many places. As they told you already, they traveled a lot on international level. So they buy their shoes. So she says they buy their shoes in Italy, the sunglasses in Singapore, jackets from Hong Kong or Hanoi, and especially the boy's violin was made almost 5,000 miles away from where he lives. So you can understand how much of importance their life must have earned for them. So she makes wherever she goes, she cannot carry a piano, so she helps herself with the piano that is available for her on the stage. But he makes it sure that he carries his violin everywhere. So the boy and girl, she says, they share the same surname. So what's a surname? It's a family name. So if they're going to share the surname, then it must be that they are siblings, brothers and sisters. But I wouldn't say so, she says. I wouldn't say, I don't want to introduce them as brothers and sisters. Though they share their surname, maybe they are second cousin, third cousin, or somewhat like that. Maybe far away from each other. I want to introduce them like that, she says. Um, what kind of parents they must have had? She's not telling you neither the name of the musicians nor the definite thing about their parents. She says the parents must be, maybe they were very good in bringing up their children, having them focused on music, or they might have been in some kind of poverty state that they wanted their children to come up and earn for them, or these children must have had a domestic nightmare where freewheeling family, a childhood paradise, a domestic nightmare, one many cues. They must have said something. She wants you to imagine about it, whatever it is. She's not giving you a definite idea about where they must have come. But she says there was one problem for them because they were very good prodigies in playing the instrument. That they had one problem with them. They were always asked to be practicing their instruments when other children were playing, watching TVs, or listening to the latest hits of music or something like that, these children with special gifts must have practiced day and night to become so at this age. So, that being the case, they were not worried about people approving them because already they were on the international level. So now they were about to leave the airport and depart. They were in the departure lounge of a capital city of their homeland. So they were living in some place in country, and they were now in the capital city, and especially they were departing to some for some international festival, and they were there in the lounge, waiting airport lounge, waiting to board into aeroplane. Maybe they were going to give a concert in there after their travel. So as you see, they learn to settle in quickly and adapt themselves. Musician is a very vague term I've already discussed with you. The boys violin was made 1,000 miles. The observant parents or relatives muttered this faintly. Sometimes their parents or relatives said, "Oh, they are my children. They are related to us." All these kinds of boasting was going on, but both these people were waiting in the capital city. Everything checked, especially his violin case was checked twice or thrice, and he was sitting there, and they were both playing checkers. The boy preferred chess, but the girl had no time. But still, they both preferred playing check while waiting for the airport to for the airplane to come to the airport. Well, at that time, an announcement came over the tonight that all flights were delayed. Screens which had previously, like you see a screen there in the airport saying these planes have arrived, these planes are departing, and all these kinds of timetable goes on in that screen. But now, when they both heard this announcement and saw the screen, it was just flashing of something happening in the city center. Rednecks ran along the bottom of the screen. Rebels from Liberation Army had come, and some kind of disturbance had happened in the city. So the boy and the girl knew some of what the rebels wanted. Actually, they had come to once when they were on the concert, so they know what the rebels wanted. They wanted nice uniforms with brass buttons. Well, these both were watching everybody in the airport thing, and in a close up, a girl packed away her flute at gunpoint already. Then the news flash finished abruptly, and the screens went blank. Nothing was happening on the screen. Nobody was showing anything there. Some In the departure lounge, the delayed passengers rode and wailed and paced around. People lost their, were very restless. They were going around, and they know some rebels have uh, held maybe some important place in the city and now on the airport. And so they were all wailing. Maybe they had business to go or some kind of emergency, and say they were going around, walking around. Some who also had personal connection to the scene of the scene of the place where they caught the airport. If they had any connection, they would go back through security, but the guards had their guns out. Only the guards who were standing there watching, they were showing guns to them and terrifying them. Nobody was going anywhere, yet flights would be delayed. So nobody was allowed to go anywhere, and no flights would not come, and they were delayed in entering the airport. So these both were sitting there just watching the whole scene. The boy started out into the dark at the grounded place. His thoughts made him flush with shame. Along with worrying about the siege, the question of whether he would play Debussy kept, kept hammering away in his head. So he was just watching the crowd and restlessness in the crowd, and he was very worried because he had practiced from the sonata, violin sonata, that was he was going to perform, especially the very difficult one that was written by Debussy. He had practiced it hours a day. They had been practicing for months for this performance. So he was feeling, will I be able to play this note on the concert hall? The boy loved the piece. So did the girl. Both of them were ready to play. They had practiced for hours and they were sitting in the airport. Suddenly, this boy had this idea, will I be able to play? And then he said, oh, why should I do that? So he was frightened of his cowardness too. So he was just doing that when a man, a deceival man who was very restless, and he had thrown, maybe he has crushed his hair, and his dress wasn't proper. He was completely shambled. So he called on to this boy, hey, fiddler boy, he said. Fiddler boy, fiddler is violin. A fiddler boy is the one who plays violin. He's just begging him, play something, fiddler boy, because he was stressed out, and he was having his own problem about not getting into the plane. Play something, fiddler boy. Any fucking thing. For a long time, the boy and the man stared at each other. The boy was looking at him, and the man was looking at him and begging him to play. whatever it is. So that I think the man wanted to relax hearing the music. And yes, the boy opened the case, took out the violin, checked the tuning quickly, quietly, and raised it to his chin. So he wanted to play the violin. He took out the violin and he was about to play it. And yes, people turned their heads to the source of the sound. And the sound was so beautiful and solemn, it soothed their blistered hearts. So when he started playing, everybody turned their head and listened to the music. And when they heard the music, they were all restless, walking around, pacing around, and throwing out things, and maybe murmuring and saying things. What do I do? So many things I've missed because I've missed the plane and all those stuff. But now they listen to their music, and it consoled them. They listened, they heard, and saw in their minds all the twists and turns of a life. So Dibazi's notes gave them all the twist in life, ups and downs of life, the halting steps, the pauses, the reckless leaps in the dark. Sometimes you have to really climb very, very up in the darkness and dark part of life. The gray mist and the red. Sometimes everything is closed behind you, before you. Everything is a mist, and the pull of spirit and of blood. Sometimes you are up in the positive mode. So all this was going on in Dibazi's note when he was playing the violin, helping those people who were already burnt by this delay, enjoying this music, and it was cooling them. That was the effect that Daily Rose is um, sharing with us here. So when the planes came in and dark spaces between the landing lights, they didn't entertain their fellow travelers until takeoff. So they went into the plane. They played a half audible, half silent version of Debussy final sonata. They sat mute for several hours. After playing this Debussy's final sonata, now the plane was ready in the midnight and they took the flight. As did most of the other travelers, even they were all silent as the other travelers were. And somebody cracked and tried to storm the security barriers. Some people almost burst out because of the fear they had. Several shots were fired when they were doing it also. Nobody was hurt. But that's in the airport. What happened? Just two women and one man were taken away by the guards. Two women and women and one man was taken. That's all. That's all happened. I mean, not that's all. It happened during this kind of siege that was taking place. So what happened to our players? Sometimes after the midnight, the plane took off and in the small hours arrived at its destination. It didn't take much long to arrive to the place where they had to go, just small hours. And after a long wait for a taxi, they were waiting for a long time and a long drive into the sleeping city. The boy and girl were dropped outside the hotel. So both of them were taken by a taxi and they were dropped there. Their clothes were crumbled, their hair wild and tangled. They waited for a very long time and they had been there with the well pressed dresses, but still, after a long time, everything was loose and crumbled. So they were very, very tired too. Now they reached the hotel, they came out of the taxi, and they were about to climb the marble steps of the glass and the chrome revolving door when a couple of all night. So when they're about to enter into the hotel, uh, and in the hotel they have this revolving door as I've shown you in the picture. What happened was suddenly a group of people who usually enjoy throughout the night drinking and chatting and walking around the streets, reveling and enjoying themselves sometimes. Rebellious, they just come across the sleeping city, deserted street of the sleeping city. There was no one. Suddenly they came and they took away the violin and case from the boy's eyes. And because maybe they have drunk, maybe they were in the reveling spirit, they just slammed it across the railings that was near the marble steps. And they broke it and they guffaws, maybe the laughter that they gave at the end of that, breaking that violin, rang hung around the situation for a very long time. It was still in the air, and they were already those both were already tired. Now dawn was breaking. The boy and the girl were booked to play at the noon already, and the importance of the violin. The boy who was already uh, I was in a turmoil whether he'll be playing the Dibasi that he had been practicing for months. Now there's no more violin. I don't know what he's going to do, but the author doesn't give you any any conclusion as to what was done by the boy, whether he played it or not. But then she gives you the title, Music for a While. They were very, very tired. But then music for a while, why? For a while means for a short time. The best of the music played by the violin and the boy was during the time when they were all stranded in the airport, when everybody was drenched in the stress. They were all anxious as to whether they will go away or whether they will be shot dead by the rebels. What is going to happen to them? There was especially already a man who was disabled and was begging him to play so that that can console his heart. The Dibasi music really consoled all of them, telling them lives have ups and downs. Lives have ups and downs. So she has named this music as this story as music for a while. The most important, they have traveled everywhere to 23 countries. They have been on many international stages. They have consoled so many people. Of all that, this music was the best. Though it was played for a while, that was the best. It has done its duty. Thank you.